This is Matt for MJ Boxing. Today we're going to be going live with Rachel Ball. Rachel was one of the stars last week at Fight Camp, last Friday when she beat Shannon Courtney in an unbelievable contest. You know, women's boxing right now is on fire. So reached out to Rachel prior to her fight and just said we'd have a chat after. She was the underdog going into that fight. You know, I think she was 4 or 5 to 1 underdog, and she went into the fight actually as favourite following a lot of heavy backing, and she managed to get a victory. So it'd be good to have a chat with her and get her thoughts on what she wants to do, you know, moving forward, promotional wise and all that. And she's just joined us, so I'll add her in.
Hiya.
Hiya, you alright? Can you hear me alright?
Yeah, I'm all good, yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you for taking the time to do this with us. I know you must have been inundated with messages trying to do bits like this since obviously your huge victory last Friday, so appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries.
So take us through, what's that feeling like when David Diamante announces you as the winner after such a good fight, you know, back and forth? What's that feeling been like for you?
It's been awesome. It's been like unreal. Like the whole week was just unreal for me. Like I was a little overexcited kid the whole week, and
yeah.
Oh, it's just brilliant. It's like I think it was oh hello Lily May. One of my coaches was like, I think you're probably the first away fighter to win on Fight Camp. So you know, big statement, and it's brilliant, amazing.
Did you, in your own head, after the fight's finished, because obviously it was a close fight, did you, when the final bell goes, think, I've got this, I've definitely won that fight? What was your thoughts going into it?
I was quite confident, yeah. Well, I say quite confident. I was confident because my corner was like, "You've won that," and they don't say that for no reason. You know, they're very honest with me. As you can tell by the swearing that my corner gave me. So they are very, very honest with me, and they don't flatter my ego. So when they said I won, you know, I believe them. So, but obviously my reaction, it was like I was very, 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 very happy, and that's why I was jumping up and down and jumped on my coach and that, because it's you know, it's a massive deal for me. So yeah,
I think because of how close the fight was and how entertaining it was, I think whoever did, you know, get the nod and whoever lost, none of the stock would really go down because it was just such a good fight.
Yeah.
You know, if you take a loss in that sort of fight, you know, it doesn't really harm anyone. But it was, you know, I think I had you winning the fight, you know, in close fight. But what's you managed to get a chance to speak to Shannon after it all? Because obviously a lot of the interviews we've not really heard much of her since. Did you manage to get a word with her after the fight? Did she say anything to you?
Yeah, I went in to see her afterwards, gave her a bit of time and stuff, and I don't know how long it was after the fight, but you know, just when I said, "Oh, you're all right," like, she just said, "I want the rematch." That was the first words out of her mouth.
Not well done or anything, but yeah, I want the rematch.
You know that's fine. I don't take it like offence to it. People have said like, "Oh, you know, she hasn't made a statement or anything like that." It doesn't bother me at all, you know. But yeah, she's very keen for the rematch as and when that will happen. I don't know. But you know, I just said, you know, it was a great fight. We didn't speak for very long. I think we're very different people, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did have a little chat afterwards. Yeah.
I think obviously leading up to that week, because she's the Matchroom fighter, and you're sort of the away side, she will be more, you know, touted, more heavily promoted. So I suppose in that sense they're doing their job. And I know Shannon, because she's quite outspoken, some people won't like that, and they're like, "Why aren't you doing an interview?" and blah blah blah. But she's obviously still young in the game, and she'll be adapting to her first loss, so she's probably you know, pretty down about it. Is a rematch something that you're willing to entertain first, or are you looking at moving past that and sort of trying to see if you can go, you know, higher up, looking at titles and things like that?
Titles is 100% what I want. 100%.
Yeah.
In terms of the rematch, you know, the terms have got to be good for me and my career. It's got to be something good for me and my career, basically. So it's just about seeing what's next. We're already in talks about what to do next with my manager, and so it's just waiting and seeing what's going to come off, and just making the best choices for me and my career. You know,
Yeah.
we've fought away 3 times now away from home in
Yeah.
my 7 of my fights. So that's nearly 50% of my fights have been away from home, and I think that's something that a lot of fighters can't say that they've done. So for me, I do want to have some shots at home. You know, travelling away, it's, you know, it is harder, but and that's not saying I don't want the hard fights, but you know, I'm still working full time, you know, so, you know, having to take another week off to go and travel somewhere, it's quite a big deal for me, really.
Yeah, I was going to come on to that a bit later on, your full-time profession, because from what I understand, you're a full-time social worker.
Yeah.
I would say I work full-time in housing, so I deal with a lot of social workers, and I know...
Oh, I bet you hate us.
No. Got a lot of good relationships with social workers.
Yeah,
you know, they
yeah.
work tirelessly and very hard. So what I was going to sort of jump to later on was, how are you managing to be full-time social worker, which obviously requires 100%, like, in it, you can't sort of half-arse it, and boxing, where, you know, you've got to really live the life. How are you managing to juggle both? Are they quite obviously they're flexible with you to fight here? Do they give you a lot of sort of time where they say, yeah, you're able to go away and train for this amount and, you know, do this? Or
I don't have any time off to train, to be honest with you. I train in the mornings or in my lunch break, and then after work.
Wow.
So in terms of like having weeks off to do a fight camp, I don't do it. I'd either have to have unpaid leave or use all my annual leave, and I need my annual leave for my downtime. And I don't think I could really maintain my casework if I kept having chunks of time off. You know, having some consistency for the people is really important. So yeah, it's just the way it is, but that's all I've known, to be honest with you. People say, oh, you know, it must be really hard doing that. I don't know any different. It's all I've done throughout all of my fighting career. You know, even when I first started out and I was going to uni and I had a part-time job and training, so it's just all I've known, to be honest.
Yeah, you're the second fighter I've interviewed who's had a full-time job. Ebony Bridges, I spoke to her, I think it was last week or the week before. I know she heavily, you know, favoured you in this fight coming up, and she obviously works as a maths teacher as well. So it's really interesting to hear how, like you're saying, no, we don't get weeks off. I go do my job, then go train, because you must be absolutely drained doing that at the end of a week.
It's, well, at the moment, because I'm not having to commute because I'm working from home, it's not too bad. But in other camps, like sometimes I've just got to the gym and I've just burst into tears, like, because I'm just tired and I'm exhausted. And so I'm very fortunate that I've been able to work from home, because obviously commuting, it just zaps the life out of you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just being stuck in traffic and stuff. So I've been really fortunate this camp that I've literally been able to roll out of bed 15 minutes before like I start, you know. So it's been good in that sense for me. But yeah, I mean, I start a new job next month, and that is a little bit further away, and so, you know, I'll just have to keep rolling with it, you know. I've got bills to pay, I've got a mortgage to pay, you know, and being financially stable is important to me. I like being able to go on holiday and things like that, and I can't imagine the amount of stress that I would have had if boxing was just my life. Yeah.
Is your new job the same as what you're doing now then, or are you taking on something different?
So it's still within social work, but I'm going to be a lead practitioner, so it's a more senior role, and it's working in a dementia unit within a social work team, and dementia's where my heart is, so I can't wait to do that.
So have you got a big passion for that in social care then? Is that like your thing? You're very passionate obviously about your boxing, but, you know, in social care, caring for people and things like that, is that where your passion lies also then?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry about the banging, I've got some work going on in my house.
Sound.
So I mean, originally when I went to the social work, I didn't know which area I'd be going in, children or adults. But my placements and that were all in adults, so adults has just found me, and I didn't know anything about dementia. Like, I've never had any loved ones with dementia. So I remember the first lady that I went to see, she was like, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. I'll go and do my shopping. I make my own meals. And I was like, oh, good for you, kind of thing. And then I realised afterwards, with talking to people, that she had dementia and she wasn't doing any of these things. And I was like, right, I need to learn quickly, because they don't teach you that kind of stuff at uni. So I've done a lot of research for myself, and I've been to like universities to give talks on dementia and stuff like that. And you know, people are very, very scared of it, and they don't need to be scared of it. It's an awful condition, but you know, with the correct knowledge and things like that, it makes life a lot easier. And if people are just less scared of it and learn more about it, I think, you know, it could be a lot better for families out there, really.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I've seen it happen through, you know, connected family members and stuff, and it's not great. And you see it within housing and stuff like that all the time, because we deal with obviously yourselves and other like partnership agencies and stuff, and you know what people go through is difficult, but it's an education really. You try and work out what's going on to the best. But back to sort of moving forward with you then. Obviously, you've got a big win now, so are you looking at sitting down with, you know, Eddie Hearn and saying, listen, I've just got the win, sign me up, get me, you know, sign me down to a deal with Matchroom so that you can concentrate and do that, you know, more of a full-time role? Is that what you'd want to do?
I think we are in talks with Eddie about what's going to come up next. And I don't know whether it's going to be on a fight-by-fight basis or whether he wants to sign me up. I don't know. Still very early days, and obviously he's really busy with the 4th fight camp this week. So we'll have to wait and see. We have been looking at a few different options, and I think either way, I think it's going to be very exciting for my future, really.
Yeah. Women's boxing, I don't really like saying women's boxing anymore, because I think it's just boxing. Like all the fights at the minute, you don't really get a dull fight at the minute. So obviously I think that's a lot to do with it being 2 minutes in the ring, because you've got to try and, with a 3-minute round, I think you've got longer to work out and sort of strategize, whereas you've got to show in 2 minutes quite quickly who's winning this round. Moving forward with it, I understand that you're obviously coaching youngsters as well that come into the gym. So
one of them's on here at the moment.
Do you take obviously girls under your wing and try and show them bits and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, we try to be positive role models. There's several other women as well that help with the girls coaching team, and we don't push any of our kids into the ring at all. It's what they want to do first and foremost, and we just try and build up their experience as much as possible with like interclubs and stuff. But we just, you know, we just try to make it as enjoyable as possible for them. And just, you know, it's nice to see girls interested in sport rather than like boy bands and stuff like that, or you know, obsessed with social media. It's nice that they're you know, just getting stuck into sport, something positive, and as well for their own safety as well. You know, it gives me more confidence that I'm helping some girls in the future, that if they ever come into any problems on the streets or whatever, that hopefully they'll be able to defend themselves a lot better than if they hadn't got the skills that we're giving them. So it makes me feel good as well.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's good. Obviously, you can now, because got a bigger platform, you know, provide them someone to look up to.
Yeah.
So that's good. In obviously you've got a very long career ahead of you, but looking into the distant future, what would you want to say you've achieved in boxing when eventually you look back and say, I did this, that, and the other? What is it? Is it world titles? Is it just biggest fights possible? What would you like to look back and say, yeah, that's what I achieved?
I want to get a world title, undoubtedly. Yeah. That is my dream goal. That's what I want to get out of boxing before I retire. You know, I feel like I've had, even though I've only had 7 fights now, I feel like I've had some really, really big fights, really.
Yeah.
You know, I got Fight of the Year, which no other woman has won in the Midlands. That was massive in itself.
Yeah.
You know, fighting away from home in Norway against Katarina Sanders, massive. Yeah. And then fighting Shannon Courtney in Eddie's back garden, massive. You know, I feel like I've done a lot of big things already in my career, and I'm really, really fortunate I've had the opportunities for it. But yeah, definitely I want a world title. I want some nice shiny belts to go in my nice new house, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. Have you are you watching the boxing this weekend? Who do you think will win Katie Taylor against Pursoon?
You know what? I watched this fight.
Good fight, that.
Yeah, I watched that fight again the other day because I thought, oh, people are going to be asking me about it, and I wanted to have some good informed kind of comments about it.
Yeah. Close fight.
What? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like Delphine, she's not an orthodox fighter. She's awkward because the way she throws it, because she hasn't. I don't know whether she went to the Olympics or came through the amateurs, but she hasn't got that orthodox style that we see that have come from the amateurs and come through into the pros. It's, you know, so I think that's what makes such hard work for Katie, because she's very, very tidy, very sharp, and she just makes it a really difficult time for anyone in there. And you know what? I just hope whatever happens in there, that there's a fair result for the women. That's all I want, you know, for both ladies. You know, Pursoon hasn't got the massive following, and she's quite quiet on social media. And
she is, yeah.
And I think that plays a large part in how you're perceived and stuff. Obviously, Katie's probably the biggest known professional female boxer in the world, and you know, I just hope it's just an even fight in terms of how people perceive it and how the commentators say things about it. But it's God.
So who do you think's going to win?
Oh God, I don't know. Based on the last fight, if it was exactly the same as the last fight, then I'd say Pursoon's more likely to win. But obviously, Katie is 100% all about boxing and her training and stuff. So she's going to be have worked for this fight since the last fight, you know. So if her game plan goes right, then you know, I think Katie could do it 100%. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to say.
It's a great fight to call.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot about her that she actually chose that opponent, because obviously she's got the W over her, so in a way she's not obligated to give her anything, but she wants to put it right, because obviously people still think either it was a draw or that Pursoon won. So I think it's good. The another fight that obviously it seems like all the female fights at the minute have just caught everyone's attention. I mean, Natasha Jonas versus Terry Harper, that was another one. How did you see that fight? Because I know how I saw it, but everyone on social media has had it completely different. It just seems like another close fight where could have gone either way and nobody really loses the fight kind of thing. Yeah. How did you see that fight?
I thought myself that through the better shots and more cleaner and effective work, and obviously she did catch her with that one shot, which, you know, her knees went, you know, she didn't hit the floor but her knees wobbled, you know. So for me, I was more towards Jonas, if I'm honest with you. And I've got a lot of respect for both ladies, by the way, but that's just how I kind of scored it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I had a couple to Jonas, but it's difficult, isn't it? Because some people prefer the aggression and then score it like that way, but other times you get cleaner punches that sneak through. Because I think some of the commentary for your fight, some of the rounds, I don't know, I take it you've watched the fight, have you watched it back? And some of it was very, like in one fight, I think in one round you were hitting the cleaner punches, but Shannon was quite aggressive. But I was like, then they were saying, oh, it's a round for Court, and I was like, no.
It's so funny, like if you watch it on Sky, they have it to her. If you watch it on ESPN, they have it to me. It's just funny. Like it just makes me laugh. But at the end of the day, the ref was the one who scored it, and he was the one that was in the ring himself. You know, you can't get any closer than that. He was the one literally watching both of us very, very closely, and I respect his decision. I think it was right.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Well, just want to say thank you for giving us the time today. I know obviously you've got a busy work life, so appreciate you giving us the time, and obviously good luck for your future fights.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed, obviously we can catch up again in the future after you've hopefully had some more big fights.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Cheers. Bye. Bye.